My name is Fred. I have been working for the company I joined when I graduated. I'm just a regular office worker, and this is my third year with the company. I have no position yet, but I have a good relationship with my boss and fellow employees, and I was living a peaceful life. Even though I'm like this, I recently got married. My spouse was my childhood friend Kylie. We became sweethearts just before we graduated high school, and we had been in a long-distance relationship until now. However, when Kylie moved to Los Angeles for a new job, we started to see each other and end up getting married. The marriage itself was smooth, and since we had known each other since childhood, neither of our parents were particularly opposed. Even people who had known us since we were in high school said, "So you're finally getting married?" It was not a particularly new feeling, but I was happy to be able to see that Kylie has the same last name as me. Now, I regret that I might not have been in the right mind. After our marriage, Kylie made a rule. That is, no matter how tired we were, we would share the household chores, and in the future, the childcare duties. The term house husband is so popular nowadays that men are expected to take care of the household as a matter of course. I have seen people who neglected their families, and as a result, their wives divorced them and they see their children only once a month or so. So when Kylie suggested this, I didn't think anything of it at first. In fact, I was aware that it was natural for us to share the household chores. I myself have been living alone for the past 5 years since I moved to LA, and have been cooking for myself. So I am proud to say that I can do a certain amount of housework. So when we decided on the division of roles, I was rather happy to feel that we were married. However, I realized that it was a little different from the everyday life I had envisioned. Kylie changed jobs and came here, but she did not fit in at her new job and resigned after 3 months, and is now a full-time housewife. I had no intention of turning into being a stay-at-home dad, but I knew somewhere in my heart that I wanted her to do the housework that I could do during the day because I was working outside of the home. However, Kylie never does anything other than the chore she was assigned when we first got married. Even if it's raining and she notices it, she ignores it even if the laundry is soaking wet, because laundry is my responsibility. And to me, she says,
"It was raining, you know. Why don't you check the weather forecast first, and then hang your clothes outside to dry?"
She'd say stuff like that. So I ran the washer again, put it in the laundromat to dry because it was a lot of laundry, brought it home, folded it, and put it away. To be honest, it was a hassle, but I couldn't ask Kylie to do it, since I told her that I would be in charge of the laundry. However, Kylie's demands escalated as I didn't talk back. For example, Kylie is in charge of cooking.
"Lately, with the high cost of living, we can't make ends meet on $5,000 a month. Will you increase the monthly food budget to $6,000?
She began to ask me brazenly. In the beginning, $4,000 for food was enough to make ends meet. But before I knew it, it had gone up to $5,000. And now, it is about to go up to $6,000. We've only been married for a few months, and if we keep increasing our budget at this pace, one day, she will say $10,000 for food alone. So I decided to stay calm and tell her how I feel. I still don't know about $5,000, but $6,000 for just 2 adults seems a little high to me. Can you tell me the breakdown or something? When I say so, Kylie becomes overly grumpy. When I ask her to show me the details of what she'd bought, She'd say that I was interfering too much or that I'm trying to control her. I didn't mean it that way, so our argument heated up even more. In the end, Kylie had not prepared dinner, so we ate dinner separately for the first time since our marriage. After living like this for so long, my heart was getting tired. I am a newlywed now, and since we were married after having known each other since childhood, people around us sometimes tease me with that story. At first it was a pleasant tease, but lately it had been nothing but pain. Of course, people around me don't know our situation, so it's not bad at all. It's all in my head. Even though I knew it, it was hard. And when I came home, I found Kylie lying around, not even doing the chores that she is in charge of these days. Her room is a mess. She doesn't cook anymore and buys her own lunch, and I don't even feel like I'm living with her anymore. And Kylie, who has been lazy, not exercising, not doing housework, seems to have gained weight recently. Her acne had increased, her skin was rough, and she was no longer the beauty-conscious person she used to be. After all, our relationship was starting to simmer and cool down. I had reported the situation to the authorities and was behind on the divorce process. But I decided to make a move because I knew I had to break off this kind of relationship as soon as possible. After work, I usually go straight home to take care of some household chores. But I decided to take a detour and go to the city office. When I received the divorce papers, I knew that my relationship with Kylie would end soon, and I could see a tangible future for us. To be honest, when I received the divorce papers, well, that's a relief, I thought. I could finally be free from this pain. Then I went home and tried to talk to Kylie, but for some reason, she was not there. Kylie is someone who has always been an indoor person and only interacted with her friends for some tea when they invited her. So I have a bad feeling that this is weird. Thinking it couldn't be, I opened the drawer where I keep my valuables, and sure enough, my bank book and credit card were taken out. Come to think of it, Kylie has been asking me every day for money to buy her brand name items, but of course I refused. So I thought that she must have had a crazy idea that she could withdraw money from my bank book without my permission and bought things from my account. I didn't expect that she would go this far, and I was fighting feelings of impatience and anger inside. I wondered how I would behave if I met Kylie in this state. I might act out of anger, or I might be too shocked by what she did to me to even speak. While I was thinking about this in agony, my phone rang. It was Kylie. I immediately picked up the phone, and Kylie made an unexpected request.
I have your bank book and credit card, so if you want them back, you have to pay me alimony.
I don't know what she was talking about. Why should I pay you alimony? When I asked that, Kylie laughed really hard, as if she couldn't hold it anymore. And here, she made a shocking revelation.
Oh, I didn't tell you. I have a boyfriend. I don't mean you, of course. He's a strong fighter. He has money, and I'm going to be his gangster wife. Got it? Alimony is something that a man has to pay. So when you divorce me, you need to have 100,000 in alimony ready.
It was only a few seconds of words, but there was a lot of information contained therein. First, Kylie was having an affair, and if she said she's going to become his gangster wife, then the guy's in that line of work, and I was supposed to pay the alimony, and the amount was $100,000, which was crazy. While I was confused, Kylie continued.
Oh, he wants to talk to you, so I'll switch with him.
Without even waiting for my reply, I heard a rustling sound, and I was intimidated by her boyfriend with a voice so thick I could imagine his face.
Hey, you heard from Kylie, so why don't you break up with her? Of course, you have no right of refusal. If you still refuse, I'll give you a taste of my hospitality. So please think about that, okay?
After those words, Kylie's laughter echoed, and the phone call was cut short. I was dumbfounded to think that she would hold my bank book hostage and make such a demand of me. Even if she had my bank book and credit card, Kylie is not the owner of the account, so if she tried to withdraw the money, they would surely call me to confirm the withdrawal. So although I thought it was safe for the time being, I contacted the bank and shared the information with them in advance just in case. Just as I was wondering how I should settle things with Kylie, I came up with an idea. I would make her pay for making a fool of me and working with people in the underworld to bring me down. With this determination in my heart, I took action. A month passed. Kylie asked me if I could meet with her and have her sign the divorce papers. Kylie didn't seem to think anything of it, and showed up 30 minutes late at the family restaurant I specified.
Sorry. I was doing my makeup, and before I knew it, the time has passed.
Kylie is laughing at me with no sincere apology, just empty words. Although I was annoyed, I didn't mind it too much, because I was planning to erase that smirk from now on. Then, immediately, Kylie notices something unusual.
Oh well, Nate is not here. You know where he is?
Nate is the name of the boyfriend who threatened me the other day. Kylie seems to think she has some kind of advantage over me because her boyfriend is a gangster. But I decided to break it down from there. How could Nate possibly come to this useless discussion? I gave him a stern talking to the other day, so he won't be coming back. Kylie's face became tense as I said this with a smug look on my face. She was probably thinking about how Nate and I knew each other, and what I meant when I said I gave him a stern talking to. With Kylie by my side, I asked her if she wanted to go into a family restaurant. It was just before lunchtime, and the restaurant was quite crowded. Kylie had been fidgety for a long time, so I decided to sit down and tell her the truth. As it turns out, Nate left you and ran away. I didn't realize it when he talked to me, but he and I had a fight long ago. Kylie, who was drinking coffee with a lot of milk as well, almost spit it out when I said this over my coffee.
What do you mean you had a fight? But Nate is a gangster. What does that have to do with you? Don't tell me you're trying to sway me with lies.
I knew she didn't want to believe it, or something like that. But the fact that Nate didn't show up when the time came probably showed her the answer. You used to be my childhood friend, so you know what kind of guy you used to be, don't you? Kylie nodded slowly. In fact, although we have known each other since childhood, we didn't go to the same school until junior high school. Kylie went to a private school a little further away, and I went to a local public high school. Well, I was also affected by my surroundings, and there was a time when I was a naughty kid. At that time, I had a history of getting into a fight with Nate. I didn't care about the name of the person I got into a fight with, and now I don't have anything to do with fights. So I didn't really remember it until Nate found out my name and apologized to me. Kylie was looking very uncomfortable when she heard the story, and I showed her a shocking image that only made it worse. How could you do such an embarrassing thing with such impunity? I mean, think about the public nuisance. There are people who have been reported for doing such things at clubs, and it's the same thing, even if you're doing it in a karaoke room. The video I showed her was the scene where Kylie and Nate were having an affair. Actually, before I talked to Nate, I had a plan in mind, and I was going to give them hell with it. I had a plan to capture the scene of their lovemaking on film and expose it in front of her parents as proof of Kylie's cheating and make her apologize. I was actually working as a regular office worker and also doing detective work on the side. Since affairs often took place late at night or on holidays, I sometimes worked as a detective after finishing my regular work. But after I got married, I had no time for that, so I talked to the president of the agency and quit. However, my experience at the time came in handy, and I succeeded in obtaining evidence that showed their affair. I think it helped that Kylie did not know that I was working as a detective on the side, since we were having a long-distance relationship before we were married. Back to the story. It is true that even in a karaoke room, there are couples who have bad ideas, but there are also guys who try to peek into them. The karaoke place that Kylie and Nate entered had an unspoken agreement not to do so. But still, there were many people who came in and out with the intention of peeping on them. Perhaps because of this, someone had deliberately created a peephole through which they would record their disgusting behavior. When Kylie heard about it, she grabbed my phone and immediately deleted the video. Then, with tears in her eyes, she said,
There is no way this is allowed. I've already erased it, so there's no proof, and I'm sorry for you. I will sue you for voyeurism and defamation.
There's no way that kind of evidence is only on a smartphone. I also have it on my computer, and even if it was deleted, I can recover it within 30 days. And even if you say it's voyeurism, I can still claim legitimacy to collect evidence of the affair. Also, even if I counteract with Kylie's argument on the cheating side, it is a must that Kylie will eventually pay the fee. So if you want to sue, go ahead. I don't think anyone would dare take your side if you were connected to a gangster and even cheated with him. I smiled a victorious smile, and Kylie had no choice but to lower her head in frustration. After that, I asked Kylie for about $100,000, including the emotional distress I had suffered during the marriage and the affair. As I expected, Kylie said,
You know, cheating on your wife is usually not worth hundreds of thousands or even thousands of dollars. This is outrageous.
She was in a frenzy. I was stunned that even she misunderstood the meaning of alimony and demanded $100,000. However, even though we took the case to court and Kylie was ordered to pay the alimony, Kylie ignored it. Eventually, I sent that embarrassing video to Kylie's parents' house where Kylie had fled. Then, Kylie's parents, who were very furious, dragged Kylie out and made her get down on her knees in front of me. They then handed me money in cash, and our relationship had been rectified. Of course, they returned my bank book and stuff. Incidentally, I also received money from Nate, and that has also been resolved. I never want to have anything to do with such gangster people ever again. After that, Kylie contacted me, saying that she had been kicked out of her parents' house with a lot of debts, and that she was in trouble because her life had fallen apart. Naturally, I ignored her, but Kylie was persistent and even went as far as stalking me, so I called the police. She was arrested without a moment's hesitation. I don't know what happened to her, but she was found guilty of other crimes and is currently spending time in jail. And deep down, I thought that it serves her right. I was surprised too, but it felt good to think that I was now free of the stress caused by this married life with her.